Hello everyone, welcome to the Code Cloud. In our last video, we talked about the basics of infrastructure as a code tool. In this video, we'll see what is Terraform. Terraform is an open source infrastructure as a code tool created by HashiCorp that helps you provision cloud resources with declarative configuration files. Terraform allows infrastructure to be expressed as code in a simple human readable language called HashiCorp Configuration Language or HCL. Basically, Terraform reads configuration files and provides an execution plan of changes, which can be reviewed, applied, and provisioned. There are various features of Terraform. Terraform supports all major cloud providers such as AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, etc., as well as API exposed services such as GitHub and Kubernetes. Terraform features open source for all non-production environment and BSL license for competitive production environment with enterprise support as well. There is a large community including a registry with publicly available modules for all major cloud and on-premise platforms. Terraform supports infrastructure provisioning rather than the configuration. You can use Terraform for any cloud to provision resources, means you can use resource block to define infrastructure elements such as VMs, networks, and firewall. You can create explicit dependencies between resources so that the given resource can only be created after the creation of another resource. Now let's view the standard infrastructure as a code configuration workflow. Before jumping into the Terraform workflow, you must determine what resources should be created for a project. For example, for a common two-tier architecture, you need a pool of web servers along with a database. Therefore, during the scope phase, you scope the requirement for the cloud resources and plan how they should be connected. In this case, the scope contains compute and database instances. Terraform workflow begins with the author phase, where you author the configuration code for the infrastructure you want to create. Referring to our previous example, during the author phase, you code the configuration files of the compute and database instances along with the VPC network. Then you organize your code in configuration file such as main, variables, and TF words. The next phase is initialize, where any plugin or modules are installed. During this phase, you run the Terraform init command, which initializes the Terraform configuration directory and installs the required providers. In the plan phase, you run the Terraform plan command. The Terraform plan command provides an execution plan for resource created, updated, or destroyed as per the configuration defined in the author phase. Then you can review the plan before applying it to your cloud infrastructure. After you review the configuration described in the generated plan, apply it to create the infrastructure and a state file. Now let's see Terraform use cases. Terraform is used to manage the infrastructure. It takes an immutable approach, means you write the code to reduce the complexity, to upgrade or modify the services and the infrastructure. Terraform is also used to track infrastructure changes. Whenever a new change is planned or applied, you will be prompted to approve the change before Terraform modifies the state of the infrastructure. When an infrastructure is created using Terraform, a state file is automatically created. The state file reflects the current state of your infrastructure. Terraform is used to automate the changes as well. Because configuration files are declarative in nature, you do not have to write the detailed instructions to build the infrastructure. You only define the end state. Terraform manages the dependencies and provisions the resources. It is also used to standardize the configuration. You can use modules to save time and implement best practices. You can also leverage publicly available modules from the Terraform registry.